Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here to review Secrets of Sulphur Springs Season 3 Episode 2 called Time in a Crystal. And I'm here to review Episode 2. I think I was planning on doing this review yesterday, but I just decided just to stick to the community post because I was kind of finishing up with some other stuff, and also I knew I had to get the community post done first, so that's why that kind of took priority yesterday. So now today, Saturday, I'm getting this review done. So hopefully I'll have this up before midnight. So that means I'm kind of hoping this review will be less than an hour long. Will that actually happen? Due to my luck, it will probably be more than an hour. Who knows? But you never know. Because I just watched the episode, so I have like a recap in my head. So hopefully I don't like miss the scene, so I had to backtrack or something. But anyway, I just want to let you know is that I'm gonna continue doing the timestamps in each review because it worked last time. Like the way like I did typed it in, it worked. It's accessible. So it's a green light. It has to go ahead. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. So yeah. Okay. So let's get started. Okay. Where do we okay, right. Okay. So for episode 2, Time in the Crystal, we start with where we left off was what was it? Come on. We left off with Harper, future Harper, telling off Griffin, right? Well, isn't that where we left off? Well, they basically, she was like, telling off Griffin, and it said like it should have been it should have been you instead of Topher. So I was like, oh, Topher's the one who like died or supposedly died. We don't really know like what happened to him. And she kind of nudged his shoulder. I forgot if there was a scene after that. There might have been, but this is kind of where we like picked off. So I'm assuming that was the last scene of episode 1, the premiere. So that's just what I'm assuming. Oh wait, no. Episode 1 actually ended with Savannah in room 205, so we actually don't get back to that until later. So I guess where we started with episode 2 is different from where we ended in episode 1, which is kind of weird. But I'm not gonna take a point off of that. That's just like a director type of choice, and it's fine. It works with the episode. It's fine. So anyway, we have Harper. She's leaving the dance in a huff. Future Harper and present Griffin that's in the future is like trying to talk to future Harper, saying like, Harper, I don't understand, what did I do to Topher? I would never hurt him. Like what's going on? And she's basically, I don't want to talk to you. You ruined my life. Everywhere I go, like I see you, and I just don't want to deal with you anymore. I block you. I don't want to see you, and for some reason you're here. Like I like just go away. And she just like leaves basically. That's kind of end of the conversation. She kind of like doesn't even let Griffin get like a word in except for that first sentence he used, and she just leaves in a huff. I'm assuming she goes back home, probably. I don't know. We don't really meet up with her again, but we have Griffin who gets Griffin. This is such a cool editing directing choice where Griffin goes back into the high school, the future high school, where he doesn't really know what to do. Like and I love how the camera kind of spins around. It's showing how his brain's kind of scrambled a little bit because he's just like, future me did something to Topher, which kind of wasn't really my fault because it. Because I would never do that, or unless I did. Harper says I did. What's going on? And he's just kind of losing his marbles a little bit until like I wonder what would happen if Sam didn't get him out of that. I would hate for Griffin to like turn into the Joker or something. That'd be crazy, or like a version of Harley Quinn or something. I don't know, but Sam's like, hey, like Griffin, look, and he said, oh Sam, there you go, Griffin. I don't blame Griffin for like not really apologize for not heeding Sam's words of like of like, oh I'm sorry I didn't listen to you, because he's worried about Topher, and it possibly it's his fault that Topher may be dead. And I understand why Griffin, a kid, is more putting that as a main priority. I understand that. If you were an adult, I might have a different feeling about it. But he's a kid. It's fine. So he's like, what did I tell you about me future Harbor? And he's like, Sam, please stop. What did I do to Topher? And Griffin's kind of freaking out. I don't blame him. And he's just like, oh man, okay, I had to take you to the hospital. Like, how the hospital? Like, come on, I had to show you. And we, where do we go straight there? No, I don't think we go straight there. We actually meet up with the plumber who got the crystal out of the pipe. He said, oh, this was causing the pipe to blockage, to cause the blockage. And then in episode 1, Harper's like, oh, thank goodness. And then she's like, oh, thank goodness that you got that out of the pipe. And she's like, yeah, that's right, young lady. And he's like, oh, it's a really weird looking rock. And I'm not sure if this is real for like all mechanics and plumbers. Is this like any mechanic or plumber fans, or if you know any that are my fans, or just watching the video just for watching its sake? I don't know if you know any plumbers, or you happen to be a plumber or a mechanic. Is it factual that if you find something in the pipes, you get just to take it? If you find like a fancy crystal or something, can you just take it? But I wouldn't do that. I'm like, this probably belongs to the owners of the property, correct? But Penn's not really gonna take it, or take it back. So he's like, okay, yeah, sure, you can have it. It's like, okay, like that's super weird. But in the comments below, like is that thing, mechanic and plumbers? Do you guys just take things that, like, if you do the job correctly and you find like a fancy rock, are you like allowed to take it? Because I would presume no. But that'd be super weird if you just make this like a plot device with the plumber. Because obviously, spoiler, I'm sorry, Harper basically is gonna try to get the crystal back from the plumber, and he has it like in his like little belt thing. So that's like a weird way to do this if it's not factual that plumbers actually can't take fancy crystals from your pipes. So I don't know. I'm not gonna take a point out because again, I don't know what's factual now with plumbers. I don't know, because if it was me with my pipes and I found like there was like a ruby in there, I'll be like, the Mr. and Mrs. Mechanic, I would like that ruby back, please, because it was in my pipes. But again, the comments below, does it belong to the plumber? No, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, enough about plumber talk. So he's like, oh dang, this is a fancy rock. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be pretty cool for my collection. This guy's in the main character, so I'm not gonna worry too much about his collection or something if he's gonna be important. So don't worry about that. He just mentioned it. I guess he must have like a rock collection or like geode collection, probably. I don't know. And Harper's pretty smart. Because I guess he was gonna walk out with a crystal in his hand. And because he said, I'm going to turn off the water main. Oh, sorry, I'm going to turn the water main back on because he had to turn off to see what was blocking the pipes. Because if you leave it on, there will be water everywhere. I understand that much about plumbing. And now, before he leaves, he has to turn the water main back on because, well, the job's done. You have to turn it back on, or otherwise water won't be running in the hotel. It's very important. And so... it's I'm gonna turn the water main back on. Is oh, thank you. I forgot his name, the Mr. Mechanic or something. Is there no problem? And she's like, oh wait. He's like, oh yeah, yes, like young lady. Like, well, what is it? He's like, well, what is it? And she's like, oh, just thank you so much for coming out here all night, like during the nighttime. Like, thank you for coming. Like, I really appreciate it. He's like, yeah, no problem. It's my job. He's really nice. And then I don't know how this relates to it. He puts it in his belt. So I'm assuming he was gonna walk out just with the crystal in his hand, and because he stopped to have a conversation, I've seen people do this. But when you stop to have a conversation, it's better to have your hands free or something. So whatever's in your hand, you put it in your belt or in your pocket or something. Does anyone else do this? Because when I saw him do it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then she sees that. I was like, okay, good. It's in his belt or his pocket or something. And he goes out, and she's gonna go try to get it. And we go back to the future, the future of 2024, like later this year, basically. And we're at the hospital. And this was heartbreaking. Yeah, Jess, her right there. and the future Jess, and she's talking to future Topher, and apparently he's in a coma. So okay, thank goodness he's not dead. Oh my. But even if he was technically dead, they wouldn't leave a child dead. If they actually would, I was like, wow, like that is a very bold move for Disney to do that. And I was like, the only reason they're allowed to do that is because it's live action, not animated, not cartoon. But anyway, so she's like, oh, like you should Topher, like sweetheart, like you should have seen Harper when he left for the dance, like for like the end of school year dance. Like she looks so beautiful, but I know you would just use some sort of wise Alec, crack up or something, and you're always like that, like oh, but I know that's just your sibling relationship. I know you would have agreed that like she would look great, and like oh man. And she's just like, oh baby, I'm so sorry, but please give us a sign. Wake up, feel my hand or something. And I was just, oh, it's just so heartbreaking. Like, oh my goodness, like, poor Jess. And then Griffin is just speechless. Sam's just trying to hide because he's like a man at a time. He's like the anti Steve Rogers, where he is a man at a time, but he's very presentable for everyone. While Sam's like a man on the run, a man at a time, if that makes any sense. Because he's always hiding. Well, anyway, and so Sam's trying to hide because that's what he does, and he's trying to keep a distance. And he's like, Sam, he's like yeah, at the door, I'm right here. And like he kind of gets out hiding a little bit to talk to Griffin. It's like, I can't believe I did that to Topher. He's like, I'm sorry, yeah, Topher's in a coma. I'm sorry. And he's like, I don't understand what happened. And he's like, you shouldn't know more about the future than you already know. This is like already bad. We don't really know what's gonna happen now. He doesn't necessarily mean that now that you actually know that you're gonna do this to Topher, you don't exactly know how you're gonna do it, or when exactly you're gonna do it, or where you're exactly gonna do it. You just know what the outcome's gonna be, and that's gonna be Topher in a coma. That's all you really know, and you did it. That's the only thing you know. That's the only thing, at least currently. And it's like we don't want to mess up the future anymore than this. And it's like, Sam, please tell me. Like Griffin honestly doesn't care. Like almost kind of how Harper felt at the end of season one, like the season one finale or the episode before, like those two episodes back to back, the season one finale and the episode before that, where Harper didn't really care about the consequences of time travel really. And like you know, and she just wanted to save her dad. But spoilers for season one, like she wanted like to save her dad basically because her dad's dead. And like Harper didn't really care. So Griffin doesn't really care about the time space continuum. He's just like, Sam, just please tell me. And Sam just like, ugh, it's heartbreaking for the kids. So of course he caves in. I don't want to say caves in, but he does like, okay, okay, don't say if I didn't warn you. But he's like, yeah, like you did that, you did that to Topher. But Jess was like about like to leave. Because he even says like, come on, we have to go move. If we're gonna talk about this, we don't want to do that here because I don't want Jess to like to see me because she would want to know like, who I am and what I'm doing here. So he kind of goes around the corner quick enough because Sam's been doing this for many years, and then future Jess is like talking to Preston Griffiths like, hey, what are you doing here? This is the last place you should be. I was like, oh Jesus, Jess gonna kill him. You shouldn't kill people in the hospital, especially kids. And like she's but sorry, no, we cut from this and we go to, let me go back to, oh right, we go back to the plumber guy. He's gonna turn the water main back on, so he takes off his belt and um wait a minute. Yeah, this is it, right? Yeah. So he takes off his belt with the crystal, and then he goes to turn the water main back on. And Savannah and Harper's like, okay, Harper, go get it. Like the plumber guy's busy. But when she's about to grab it, she has one of those visions. And this is the first vision that we've seen in season 3. And she just sees Topher fall off like the banister, which is basically the railing on the second floor. Basically, this is the banister. He falls off, and Griffin's there with like a shocked face, and then her's like, "What the?" And like we have the what I want to call the seance trio, the Topher, um Wyatt and Zoe. They're kind of kind of talking. It's like, hey, we should go investigate like your room 205. Like we need to see what we can find there. And then obviously Topher and Wyatt are like, okay, we're in. They go inside and they're actually trying to talk to Savannah. It's like, hey, um, okay, sorry, no, I got like the order mixed up. Sorry, the plumber guy doesn't go outside yet because Savannah is still in room 205 actually. Sorry, I got the order a bit mixed up. Like the Griffin with Sam stuff, that's in the correct order, but I got a little mixed up with the whole Savannah room 205 still because that's where we left off from the first episode. That was like the final scene. So we have her, and she kind of goes into like the closet because that's when Wyatt, Zoe, and Topher go in to try and talk to Savannah, which is kind of ironic because she's actually in the room, but not a ghost. And she's kind of listening in, but she doesn't want to say anything. Because saying, "Well, can't give away the secret. Can't give it away." Even though at this point, tell them, whatever. Anyway, so I basically say like Savannah, we know I love how they're all trying to be brave. Like there's like oh Wyatt has like oh like voice and then literally very very shaky voice and Topher like your voice is too shaky. Wyatt let me do it. And then he's just says Savannah you can't do it either. And then so he does it and she's like oh okay like and I love it how this isn't just like oh girls are more braver more is more brave than boys. So that's not it. It's just that Wyatt tried to do it, it didn't work. Topher tried to do it, he did a little bit better. So Zoe's the only option left. So she's just gonna try to do it, and she knows that in this situation, we need to make sure we get our point across so that like you know so Savannah could answer our question properly. Like that's the whole point of this. So I'm glad. So Zoe basically asked straight up like hey Savannah, I know in my heart like I know in my heart that you're not behind these attacks. I know you were very mischievous, but this ghost seems very evil. Like very dangerous. Like we need your help, Savannah, please. We I know like Grace that you like to keep your distance, you like to be a little bit mischievous and like you like to not really say anything but give us signs, but please Savannah, this time we could be in real life threatening danger. Please, if there's anything you need to tell us, please tell us. We're kind of in deep water a bit, or we're about to be in deep water. And Topher and White try to say like, oh, yes, Savannah, please, like, come out. They talk to us, and Savannah, as like a dum dum, she was kind of listening to the door, and she kind of made a noise at the door, and she's like, someone's in the closet. It's like maybe it might be Savannah's ghost. Come on, we need to see. We need to talk to her. And I'm glad they're taking the initiative. Like, good on you. On you three. I'm gonna go to the door. Before I do that, that that wisp thing that evil spirit ghost is about to grab um Zoe's shoulder. She actually felt that, and they just booked it. Like nope. And then like and Savannah got out of there too. Like I'm not staying in this room with this thing. And they go downstairs, and I think that this is where actually where the twins the twins I think they might be twins, but Wyatt, Zoe, and Topher, the trio, go downstairs and they're kind of talking with Harper. Say like I think we could have just saw Savannah. It's like what are you talking about? And it's like, oh, in room 205, we were trying to ask her for help. It's like, oh, well, what did you say? Harper's a really good older sister, especially to Wyatt and Zoe in this season. Season 2, I'm not really sure about that. But season 3, I think she's really good, at least in this scene. But she's like, oh, come tell me about it. It's like, we were trying to ask her for some help. Because we know the hotel's kind of in danger with this new evil phantom thing. We were trying to ask her for help. We thought we heard something in the closet, and we got spooked and we had to get out of there. And he's like, oh, it's best that you were out of there. We should kind of leave it alone for now. She's trying to be protective. And he's like, hey, you know what? And the demon said, please believe us. And he's like, of course I believe you. Like, of course, of course. But you know what? I have a feeling that Savannah's ghost is up there actually, and she's actually watching over all of us. She's watching over for you three. Is it really you think so? I thought it's sweet, but yeah, I'm sure. She gives him a hug. Even Harper looks up upstairs, and Savannah has like a reassuring smile, but also maybe a little bit of a nod, say like, "Yeah, I am watching over you guys. That's the reason why I'm here. I'm watching over Griffin, over you, Harper, and also for the twins. Even Ben, a bit. Even it's kind of weird since Savannah is like what, like 13, and Ben's like 40. That's so weird, but they had that weird kind of friendship type of thing. But anyway, we where do we go from here? Right, so I thought it was very cute that Savannah up in like the banister, not the banister, the staircase basically saying that like, yeah, like I am here for you guys. Like, a little bit of nod and a reassuring smile. That was sweet. Then like the trio just goes off to somewhere else, kind of like to maybe regroup or something. This is where Harper sees that the plumber guy, he's been outside this whole time, but he's about to turn off the water main. So we finally get to this part. I believe so. Okay, and she goes out there with Savannah. The plumber guy goes there to the water main. She got the crystal. This is when she has the future vision, the vision, where she sees Topher, her little brother, fall off the banister, basically get in a coma, and she sees Griffin there, but with a very shocked face. So she knows a bit that Griffin didn't mean to do it, but she still kind of did it. It's not looking good. Not looking good. Not looking good for a boy. And we basically say, oh, hey Lily, we the water mains turn on, and they say, oh good. And they go, here's the bell, thank you. And he does gets the bell. He leaves. And Wyatt, Zoe, and Topher go out there. He's like, we thought we saw a ghost. It's a what? It's like Savannah's ghost. We thought we saw her on the porch. It's like, well, I mean, I didn't see anything. And he's like, oh well, my butts. So they go back inside, or they either go around the porch to kind of look for her, or back inside. I forgot which one. But we have basically Savannah. Maybe Harper's like, dang it, the guy took the bell with the crystal apparently, and nope, Savannah snagged it when Harper was getting that vision because someone had to get the crystal. So she took it. So cool. We have Savannah and Harper go down to the basement, and they have the crystal, and they're about to bring Griffin back home. Cool. And when they're kind of when they get to the basement, we jump back to the future finally, with future Jess and present Griffin, where she's like, "What are you doing here? This is the last place you should be. Like, why are you here? Like, what could you possibly ruin more?" And she's like, he's like, what did I do to Topher? Because he didn't have the vision. Only Harper knows that he fell from the banister. So we know it happens to the Tremont, second floor, from the banister. We obviously saw Griffin do it, but he had a shocked face, so it wasn't him on purpose, or maybe he got possessed or something. We don't really know. All we know is Griffin, shocked face, shocked expression, and we don't know exactly when. So I don't know. Could be next week. Could be the next day from the present. We don't really know. But we right. So Jess is basically saying like, what could you possibly ruin more? And he's like, I don't understand. What did I do to Topher? And then he's like, we know what you did, and now he's in a coma. Like he he fell from the banister. He's like, he fell from the. And he's almost like shocked, like he fell from the banister, and I pushed him, and he's like, oh, what else could have happened? He's like, well, I just know I could have done it, and Griffin's about to say something else, and Jess, a mother who's grieving, basically, she's like, don't you dare blame it on that ghost again. So I was like, oh, maybe the ghost is, most likely, but the ghost is probably involved, maybe, I don't know, and and then basically, she says that if you want to visit anyone in a hospital-like place. Don't visit my son. Like, don't visit him ever again, but visit your own mother. I'm like, what happened to Sarah? You see, from like the trailers and like the preview clip that I reacted and reviewed to, along with what's happened with episode 1 so far. Yeah, I'm really worried about Sarah, and now we know that she's like in a hospital type place. Even when she like leaves, because I guess visiting hours are over. I guess I don't know, or she just decided to leave. Sam goes to Griffin, and Griffin's like, "Where's my mom, Sam?" Like you could just hear the disheartening in his voice. Like, "Where's my mom? What happened?" And and it's like Griffin, and he's like, "Sam, please just tell me." This is like the third time he says this, like second and third time, and he's like, "Your mother was the first victim to the ghost and the evilness in 205. Like she was the very first victim," and I'm like, "Oh, interesting." And I'm saying that, not Griffin. That'll be very weird if Griffin said that. And like it's like, oh, she was the first victim. The evil got to her. No one really believed her. She lost her mind. She basically had a mental breakdown, so they had to take her to a safe place, basically, which is basically the like asylum or nut house or whatever you want to call it, or a nursing center, I guess, like some people call it. I don't know. There's like different like levels depending like how unwell you are. I guess I don't research these things, so I don't know. So it's one of those three things. I'm assuming the latter, like the nursing facility. I would assume because Sam never said that she was like dangerous or anything. He just said that she had a mental breakdown and she just needed help. And but we really don't have time for this. Like, I mean, like he even said, like, do you really want to see her like that? It's like, no, I don't. I don't want to see her like that. And it's like, okay, then let's just go. Is it weird? You're gonna give up? Like, no, that's the last thing I want to do. We're gonna go back to the present, and we're gonna fix this. I'm gonna make sure my mom doesn't end up at the loony hospital, and make sure that Topher doesn't get into the coma. Sam's like, all right, let's get back to the Tremont because I want to make sure that the place is like the fires go off. That said, the fire's gone. Like the place is like ashes. I want to make sure that's been burnt. Like the spirit like didn't like cause like a disruption in the fire where it's like still burning or something. Now it's like evil fire or something. He just wants to make double check. We go back to Harper and Savannah back in the present where they were trying to fit the crystal back into the thing. It's like not working when Savannah is gonna has an idea. Hey, how about you use this hammer and nail and to crack this crystal? And it's like, do you really think it's a good idea? Is that we don't really have another option because this crystal is not fitting. It's nearly fitting, but we need to use this to hope it will work. He's okay. And even Harper's kind of out of it. She's like, oh, okay. He's like, well, while she's kind of doing it, she's like, hey, well, what's up? And she cracks it, and she's about to fit. Oh, it's almost fitting. He's like, oh, Harper, what's up? And she's like, had one of those visions, and he's like, oh, really? Well, what was it about? And it's working. Oh, cool, it's working. Is it like, okay? So what did you see? And like she's like, I saw my brother Topher falling off of the banister at the second floor of the Tremont. She's like, what? Is he okay? He's like, I don't know. All I know is he fell. And I thought I saw Griffin. What? I thought I saw Griffin pushed him. And I mean, obviously, it's like, nah, no, he didn't. Absolutely not. Nope. I love how Savannah goes immediately to his vest. Like, no, just don't wait till he did that. No. Not the Harry and I, no. That was like his like nickname, his like alias or something. Harry and Hermione. That was Harper. So there's no way that he could have done that. It's like, I know, I don't want to believe it either, but I saw him do it. And it's like, but it looked kind of weird. It looked kind of fuzzy. I didn't really see everything, but it looked like Griffin, the guy that I like, pushed my little brother off the second floor of the banister of the Tremont. So, yeah, that's happening. And it's like, let's just go talk to Griffin to tell him what we saw so we can figure this out. It's like, okay, like, and obviously Harper's worried, but it's like, what happened? Well, why did Griffin do that? Was it just him? There's so many ideas going through her head. Then they go back to the future, basically. Harper and Savannah, Sam and Griffin, they all meet up with each other. And Sam's like, whew, okay, good. is nothing but smoke here. The Tremont is nothing but just like a house of ashes is waiting to crumble down. Good. I did what I came here to do, and I'm taking Griffin back home. Okay, my mission here in this date, currently right here in the future, my mission is nearly complete. He still has something else to do. I won't reveal what that is, but he still has something else to do. But right here in this time, right here, it's almost complete. I need to take Griffin back home, and obviously including Harper and Savannah, because they shouldn't be here. There's a radio version of Harper here. That'd be really weird, and probably could disrupt something. We don't know what, but could do something. And it is like, oh Sam, Griffin, you're okay. And then Griffin tries to kind of back off from Harper's hug, and she's like, what's wrong? And I honestly thought Griffin thought he was gonna be a danger to her. I was like, oh, that's sweet, but like, no, Griffin, I don't think it's your fault. But he's just like, are you the real Harper? I guess this is a callback back to season 2, where Grace, no, sorry, not Grace, oh man, am I seriously forgetting her name? Oh, that is not fair. What in the? I'm forgetting. Okay, if any of you watched my season 2 playlist recently, or if you just remember, Grace's daughter, like the one who looked like Harper from like the past, from like when Sam was like a little boy, that timeline, not that time, like back in the past, basically. Who was her? What was her name? I'm forgetting her name. Man, man, like I'm totally drawing a blank. Well, anyway, I feel kind of bad for that, but what was I trying to say? Um, I I was about to say something, but I got distracted. But basically, they kind of met up where so that's what I was talking about. Basically, Grace's daughter, whatever her name is, who looked like Harper. That was the point. He's like, "Oh, are you like the real Harper?" It's, what do you mean the real Harper? And it's like, "Oh, remember the whole double situation because they had two Harpers when two girls that are in Harper's family basically." Who look exactly the same. The girl looked exactly like Harper, basically. And so that's why he was kind of worried. Like, are you her? Are you Grace's daughter? Or are you actually Harper? So no, I'm actually Harper. And he's like, oh, okay. And he had the guy have like a big hug. It was really nice. And Savannah's like, Sam, what happened to your family home? And he's like, Savannah, it's all for the best. We'll explain everything when we get back home. We have to go. It's really good to see you, Sam. It's really good to see you too. Okay, let's go. And when they're like about to go back, we get this scene right here. Okay. Yeah, I've been talking for a while. It might have been more than an hour. I'm not sure, but where we have like Jess and like Ben is working the like the book with like reservations and stuff like that, and Jess like, oh, like the kids are playing nicely and and the water situation is going fine. Is it me or does this place feel peaceful? It's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to believe it. And it's like, oh, like not to us. It's like, what do you mean? It's like there have been some strange things happening here, and like ghosts and like phantoms and stuff like that. Like things are not right. And just look at Sarah's face. Oh man, I feel so bad for her. And I love how Jess has the look of like Topher. Really, we're starting this up again. And even Topher's like, hey, no ghost talk. I get it, but I'm willing to risk it. Like there's some crazy stuff going on here, and it's like yeah, you like, oh, ghost, and Zoe's like, yeah, I'm room 205, and she's like, room 205. And it is, oh, yeah, we knew that would get your attention, like, oh, like the gunk and the water and stuff. And Ben's like, that's all been explained, kids. Like, there's been a problem with the plumbing. There was a bust pipe, and and then and why it's like we're not officially sure about that. And they go, she's getting kind of freaked out because sorry. This is when they kind of brought up 205. I'm sorry. So they talked about the gun Ben said that was explained. Then she mentioned 205, and it like what 205? Yeah, we knew that would get your attention. Just kind of giving her a look like, oh hey, like you okay? And and then they're kind of they're kind of talking. I want to play this clip right here.
Something pushed it. Ghost. Lurking. Hiding. Bring up power. Alright, enough. Route 205 is now officially off limits.
Oh, okay, so I don't want to play too much. But basically, they're kind of talking about like a hat rack that fell, and it felt like something pushed it, and why is kind of freaking Sarah out? And Ben's like, okay, nope, that's enough, nope, no more about that. But I honestly kind of want to turn up the volume like a little bit. I honestly it's kind of too low. I'm sorry about that. But he's like, nope, 205 is officially off the limits. It's only going to be investigated by me, your mom, and just like and me, your mom. Like, are we clear? And as like Topher, it's like, yeah, we're clear. It's a wide Zoe. Yep. Ghost infested like room 205 is officially off limits. We understand. And I kind of want to play this since I have to have it right here. I kind of want to play another clip. It's kind of weird I'm playing out of order, but I think of it on the spot, on the spot, like what clip do I want to play? So I'm just. Okay, maybe like right here.
A whole hotel full of them, and they're up to no good.
They're talking about a ghost.
What happened with the water? The goo?
All of it explained. We just talked to the plumber. It was a blocked pipe. As for Savannah, we know she didn't die.
Okay, so I want to play this up right there. That actually is a good thing to kind of refresh my memory. Yeah, they kind of mentioned Savannah. She like didn't leave. She didn't leave room 205. And Ben said, well, that's been explained in season 1, kids. This has been explained. Savannah didn't die. You saw the letter that she left me. She escaped from the storm. She basically escaped. She technically ran away, but like she's alive. She didn't die that day, basically. So I'm just gonna go back right here. But yeah, so they're kind of talking about and it's just Sarah's basically worried. Yeah, she's basically worried, and we get back to so basically saying okay, paranormal activity is officially off. Obviously, the kids are not gonna do that, but basically it's okay, we won't go back into room 205. Then we go back to Griffin, Sam, Harper, and Savannah, those four, and they're going back down the hatch, and both Griffin and Harper, it's like, I have something to tell you. They're basically talking about how Topher, so Harper's basically saying, I saw a vision of Topher falling off the banister of the second floor of the Tremont. It's like, wait, so you know? It's like, yeah, wait, you know? It's like, yeah, you saw me push him, right? It's like, yeah, I saw him in the hospital. He's in a coma. She's like, oh my god. Oh, man, I didn't want it to be true, but it's true. It's like, yeah, it's true. It's what are we going to do? Well, we know from past experience when you try to save your dad that we can't change what's already happened. Basically, the rules of time travel is whatever your current present is. So for them, it's this moment right here, this timeline. Okay, same timeline is kind of weird. It's all the same timeline, but basically, this moment right here, or when they get back to earlier 2024, because it's all in the same year, but this current date right here, this day is currently the present. So if you go back into the past and try to change something from your current present right here, from this present right here, and you go to the past to try to change something, nothing will change. You technically would have already done that. So, like, the fate, I guess, like, already calculated for that. So, what you thought caused your father's death, or for whatever reason, like your reason you threw up, or the reason why you decided not to go onto that roller coaster, or the reason why you decided not to bring your brother or something, whatever the reason is that you did in the past, whatever the reason was, or the reason why you decided not to read your favorite book and decided to read your least favorite book. I don't know, but this is a bunch of examples or something. Let's see. So yeah, those are my examples. Basically, if you try to change any of those things from the past, of your current present, and you try to change something in the past, that would not change your present. Whatever you actually did stays the same, and whatever you thought you did might have been misinterpreted. So while the outcome is still the same from your current present, but what you technically led up to it could have been altered, if that makes any sense. Because Harper kind of changed. It's kind of weird. Harper kind of changed the fact that her dad didn't die in a car crash, in a car accident. But because he technically died in like a fishing trip. Like summer vacation, it was like a fishing trip. Harper and her dad were like in like a boat or something, and the boat kind of went topside and he basically drowned, which is really sad. She thought he died in a car crash, but it's kind of made to believe that she kind of made it up in her head, but also kind of believed that for what it looked like from the footage of from like the past when Harper saved her dad's life, basically when she went up from like a face of a fake name, basically saying, "Oh, my name's this, but I saw you in trouble. I tried to get you out of the way," basically. So she kind of changed that, but from the look of it, the way that he was like about to be hit, he would have died. So I'm like, was that the way he was supposed to die or not? Either way, her father's still dead, so that outcome still needs to be the same. But the way it happened, that could be different, if that makes any sense. So, but since what happened to Topher didn't happen in the past, it's something we saw in the future. Whatever we do in the present can be changed. So if we, for some reason, if we save Topher, the future would be different, because the future is not set in stone. The past is. You can't change the past. You can't do that. At least that's the rules of time travel for Secrets of Sulphur Springs. So anyway, so he's like, well, we know this isn't in the past, it's in the future. So we can change the present, because we change the present every single day with our actions. So let's do that. And we basically go up, but so Sam's like, first things first, we need to send Savannah back. And Savannah's like, no, Sam, I don't want to. Well, actually, this is where actually taking a point off, actually, where it gets a little bit weird, where he's like, okay, let's get started. And Savannah, we immediately get back. I guess it would be the commercial break, basically, if you saw this on live TV. But, sorry. But basically saying, what do you mean I'm going back to, like, the 60s? Like, what do you mean I'm not, like, going with you guys? I thought that was a very weird cut. I would have wished we actually heard Sam say, Savannah, you're actually not coming with us. Because Savannah's like, okay, what do we do to get started? And then he said, no, Savannah, you're not going with us. And she would have been, what? And then we cut a commercial break, and then she would say, what do you mean I'm going back home? I think that would have made a little bit more sense, but we just cut back to, what do you mean I'm going back home? Like, I felt that was a weird cut, in my opinion, so I'm taking a point off for that. I'm sorry, dude. I was like, I watched it a couple of times, I was, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. But anyway, we have, okay, I'm trying to figure out like what else happened. Right. So basically, Sam and Savannah are having this argument, and then Griff said, okay, I'll get like the time stream like kind of warmed up, like, and it's okay, it's powering up. It's gonna take a second. Sam goes to kind of finish it. But Steven said like, this is kind of like my unfinished business. And then when I heard that, I was like, usually, like, obviously, if you've been in the world, you kind of know the only people who say I have unfinished business are usually ghosts. So I'm like, nah, that wouldn't really make any sense. So I'm just kind of suspicious of Sam, like, what do you mean by unfinished business? And also part of me was kind of thinking, well, maybe because he's kind of like an old man from like the very back, like, in the past. maybe this is just the way he talks. Maybe I don't know. Well, I mean, I do know, but I don't want to say anything for you guys. But so like, you technically don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is the way he talks. And like my unfinished business. Ooh, okay. And then, like, Savannah kind of goes after him, and they're kind of talking. It's a, I promised your mom that you would be safe. You need to go back to your mom. You shouldn't lose the chance to be with your family. And and she's like, but you guys are like my family. I love my mom. I love my home. I love that I'm not on the run anymore. I'm not in the foster care. I love that. It even doesn't matter to her that I'm in a different time of life from when she was in the 90s, technically. That's when she was technically born. She's in the 60s now. But, um, but, sorry, what was I? Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. But, we have, like, I love that I'm not on the run anymore and not in foster care. I love that I have a family. But you guys are like my second family. It like, I understand that, but you have to go. And she's like, okay. They hug. They have a big hug, and Savannah just goes off. And Sam's like, okay, I'm gonna stay in the barn. I don't want to cause any trouble. And he just goes off in the barn. Savannah says her final goodbyes, and then she goes back home. But when she actually goes back to the basement to go back into the bunker, we have actually Griffin and Harper. When Savannah's doing that, we have Wyatt, Zoe, and Topher kind of go after her, saying, wait, if that's a ghost Savannah or in her human form, she's either coming from someplace or going somewhere, and she's going somewhere. Let's follow her. We need our questions answered, and I'm glad to take an initiative. So they all go, and when they're going, Harper and Griffin go back upstairs, and this is where Jess is like, kids, what did Ben say about like the portal? And Griffin hasn't heard about this because remember the end of season 2 and the beginning of season 3, the premiere, only Harper and Savannah know about that Ben knows, and now Jess knows too. Sorry about that, excuse me. And basically it's like, oh yeah, secret hide. I'm sorry about that. We're gonna find a new hang space right away. I'm so sorry about that. Like Dad told you. It's like, yeah, he told me. So off limits, okay. And it goes the same for Wyatt, Zoe, and Topher. Okay. So to go off to room 205 to kind of talk about what happened with Topher and also about the spirit thing. So then they're kind of like Oh, I actually forgot when they were kind of going through the hatch and then the underground basement thing. They actually were kind of talking about how Griffin was like, the worst part is that you were really disappointed in me. You were really angry with me. Like that was the worst part, or is going to be like the worst part when it actually happens. And it's very sweet, but also very kind of. I really feel bad for them, so they're kind of talking about that more. And we basically have them like in room 205, and Harper's like, okay, I'm gonna see if I feel something. Then while this is happening, they Harper wait a minute. Did Topher actually go with them through the hatch? I'm trying to remember. I don't think he did actually. So sorry, Topher I guess went somewhere else. I'm not sure. But we have Wyatt and Zoe. They go through the hatch, and I guess it's like a cool nod, but it also reminds me of the disappointment in season 1, where each season has a disappointment. Where season 1, I thought they were gonna do something with the jolt they feel when they go through the portal, because when Wyatt goes through, he feels a and he's like, ow, and then when Zoe goes through, like she's perfectly fine, and they don't explain it. I'm like, there's a reason why those hazmat suits are there. And I thought they were going to tackle that in season 1 because it felt like a big plot point, and they don't do anything with it. So I'm like, it is a cool nod that they kept that consistent for like some characters to feel a jolt. I'm like, but why? I forgot it was either Griffin or Harper who felt the jolt, and now Wyatt feels it. And I think Savannah felt it too. So now there's 3 people, but I'm like, why though? I don't understand. So I'm like, it's cool that they brought that back because it is a thing that happens to some characters. For some reason, not all of them. I don't know why, because they're all human, but it happens to some of them. So I guess it is cool that they kind of brought it back, but also kind of disappointed. Like, it reminds me of what could have been season 1, and it didn't do it. So it kind of brought back the disappointment. I was like, oh, cool, but I'm like, but anyway. And like, it's kind of cool. Like, it's like, wait, you didn't feel that Jotsu? Like, no. You're like, are you okay? It's like, oh yeah, I guess I'm fine. And they kind of see Savannah's like, oh, let's go after her. And they're back in the '60s. It's like, what was with the people in the funny hats? And I think they're all ghosts. Like, that's when that's what White says. It's like, that's Savannah. Like, who's the lady that she's with? I don't know. And they have a big hug. It's like, oh my. Oh, Savannah, so sweet, peach and pie, or something like that. He's like, oh, I was about to call the sheriff on you, girl. And like she has the kind of country accent, and she's southern. They're in Louisiana. She's southern, kind of like Rogue a little bit. And she's like, oh, and he's like about to call the sheriff. And like, it's, oh, mom, I'm fine. I was sleeping in the treehouse. I'm sorry, old habits. I never wanted to make you worry. I love you so much, but she does. None of that. Okay, the treehouse is false, but none about loving her mom and wanting to be with her and living a normal life is false. Because she even mentioned, like, I wish I could have both, to have both my families, but she feels like I'm gonna have to choose one or the other, and I think she's kind of choosing to live in the '60s, which honestly might be better for her, because one, she has a mom here, and two, she's starting a new life. Especially being like a CIT, like a counselor training for like the summer camp type of thing. So like but we have sorry, what happens next? And it's like, oh, it doesn't matter where you've been, you're just here now. I'm so glad you're safe, baby. And it's very sweet. He's like, oh, Savannah has a mom now. I love it. And when they're hugging, Savannah locks eyes with Wyatt Zoe. She's like, oh no. And they're like, oh, she spotted us. And that is, no, actually not the end of the episode. We actually get to, you know what? I think I mixed up the scenes again. I'm so sorry. Before, okay, so what happens with Savannah and her mom and why Zoe that happened, but it was before Harper and Griffin go up to 205. It's actually Ben and Sarah first, where Ben's like, Sarah, why didn't you tell me earlier about what you found in room 205? We could have talked to me. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think you believed me because about ghosts and what the kids felt. I kind of felt it. Felt weird. It's like, okay, like, I want to believe you, so let's go check it out. And she's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's check it out. So they open the door, and and he's about to turn the light on. He's like, no, don't turn the light on. Even Ben mentioned like, oh, you're seeing shadows, and it's like, oh, I thought I saw it, and he's like, oh, do you feel anything, Sarah? It's like, no. And he kind of waited a few more minutes. He's like, well, you feel anything now? It's like, no. And it's like, well, how about it's getting kind of late. Let's kind of finish up downstairs and let's go to bed. And we'll finish this up tomorrow. And it's like, okay. And she even has like a like, what, maybe I am going crazy. I'm like, signaling the future with her going to the Looney house. But she takes one look and then she closes the door. And we actually go back to the future where we actually see the ghost, which is actually, it's kind of interesting, where I think I might know who the ghost is, but I don't want to give any speculation until like a few more episodes in. But I think I might know who it is. But with the ghost, when Sarah closes the door, we see some lightning and it flashes the hat coat rack, like where you put your hats. There's a hat there, and there's no hat in the coat rack to put a shadow there, so there's a ghost hat there. And when we see Wyatt and Zoe for a second through like the ghost's point of view, we see Zoe's little the thing that Sarah had. I don't know. It's like a hairpiece or something. It's like a jewelry. And it's glowing, because I forgot to mention this, but earlier in the episode when she puts this on, she's like, oh, maybe this could be like a good luck charm, because she's like, because Wyatt, You have your hat, okay? That's your thing. I want to have a thing. She's kind of jealous. Like, I want to have a thing. And, like, maybe this could be good luck for me. Or it can maybe attract ghosts. Like, Zoe, like, I'm not sure about that. And it kind of is. It's glowing. And the ghost is kind of sensing it. So I'm kind of like, what's going on with the ghost? And that ghost actually had a hat. It was kind of distorted because it's all kind of moving and stuff. But it looked like a hat. And it looked like a bowler hat. So, I don't know. Like, kind of a speculation. But anyway, so I'm kind of like, what is with Sarah? And what is with that little jewelry and that Sarah had in her hair? And why is it glowing? Why does the ghost want it? Is he afraid of it? Does he want to take it? Does he want to destroy it? I don't know. But I'm kind of interested. And does that mean, is the ghost going to go after Zoe? Is it whoever possesses the jewelry? Does the ghost want it? Is it actually his? And Sarah just never knew. I don't know. Because we don't really know anything about Sarah's family. I mentioned that in the premiere in episode 1 a couple days ago. I mentioned, like, we don't really know about her family. So, are they thieves or something? Did they steal the jewelry from this ghost? Is this ghost innocent? I don't know. But, we... So, basically we have, we have Griffin and Harper. They're kind of talking about Topher, and she's basically saying, "I'm sorry, but Harper's like, you had nothing to be sorry for. It's what happened in 205 or whatever that spirit is. We need to see what would happen." And he's like, "Okay, like, yeah, you're right. Like, we need to focus on that, yeah." And he's like, "Are you feeling it?" Like, "No, but I feel like there's something like remaining here, but I don't really know if it's a spirit or not. But something happened in this room 205. Something dark." But it's kind of here. It's like, wait, if it's here, then where is it? And that's what we saw earlier. The ghost is in the past, in the 60s, looking at Zoe's or Sarah's pin that's currently on Zoe. And I'm like, is the Sarah? Is the ghost gonna go after Zoe now? I don't know. I don't know. But uh, bu- 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 bum. What else? Right. So they're kind of like, oh, okay, I guess we can't really find anything. So they leave room 205, and we have Sarah kind of, she's in her PJs, and, like, and she's getting ready for bed, and she's like, she sees the ghost, and like, oh no, left room 205. She's spraying this chaos through other rooms. And she's like, "Ben, like, do you see it, Ben?" And and then it's about, like, it's so weird with his ghostly fingers. It's like, ugh. It's about to reach for Sarah. What is he trying to do? Get her attention? Possess her? I don't know, because he keeps on doing that. Maybe he's trying to scare her. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, and she's like, oh, Ben. And she's like, "Sarah, you okay? It's not the ghost was here, Ben." I'm glad he doesn't judge her. He's kind of looking around because he has, like, like the face of, like, who's threatening my wife? Like, he's kind of looking at him. He's scared, but he's also kind of like, hello? Like, who are you? Why are you doing this? Because he kind of stood up to Grace in season 2, which I actually do appreciate, because Ben did nothing wrong. And Grace was kind of she was in the right to have, like, the land back with the family, but she was kind of wrong for terrorizing Ben. Like, so I'm like, Grace is kind of like a gray character, in my opinion. I think I mentioned that in season 2. I just want to mention it again. Comment below, what do you think? Do you think Grace is a saint, or do you think she's gray? I think she's gray. In the scale from light to dark, I think she's gray. At least I would say. Savannah's innocent because, one, she's never been a ghost, and two, she just wanted a family, to not be in a foster home and not be hated by Jess. Because she was constantly jealous of her, with Ben and Savannah liking each other, basically. And season 2, I would say Grace is gray, and I think this final ghost is going to be the darkest ghost, basically. At least in the show, I would say. And basically they're kind of like holding each other, and this is where we get to, so yep, this is the end of the review. So I'm gonna have the timestamps for, like, the intro, the review, and now I'm gonna do the of what's gonna happen in episode 3, basically, because they do this in every episode. So this is what's gonna happen in episode 3. There's gonna be a timestamp, so in case you want to skip it. I didn't mention it in the previous episode, but here it is. So, next time in Secrets of Sulphur Springs, we have like, oh, there's Savannah. Who's that woman she's with? And and Harper's like, well, something happened in room 205, and then we have Ben in the 60s with I almost said Heartbreak Griffin. I'm sorry. With Wyatt and Zoe, it's like Dad's like, It's we were just like, yep. And he locked the hatch. So I'm assuming they're back in the present with that, or they could back in the '60s. I don't know. They never really talked about it, but no, I think Jess was in that scene. So I think they're back in the present. Yeah, they're back in the present, and they locked. Yep, they're locked with being both sides, and they're kind of like, great. Like, how are we supposed to time travel back? And we have Savannah back in the '60s. She sees like something in the floorboard kind of glowing, and she's like, "What the heck is that?" And we have Savannah at like the final moment go behind Wyatt and Zoe. She goes like, "Boo," and she has like a smile on her face. So I'm like, "Oh, finally, Savannah gets to finally meet Wyatt and Zoe. I can't wait because I'm like, I want to see the interaction. I want them to finally know that Savannah is currently not a ghost and has never been a ghost. I want them to finally know that. It's kind of weird that Topher's not here with them, but I guess Topher decided not to go with them. But anyway, so that's basically it with that. So yeah. So what's my score for this episode? 90%. I thought this was a fantastic episode. I saw it. I think I forgot to mention, but when Savannah broke the crystal to like make it fit, when it started to light up, it looked like it was the entire crystal was lighting up, even though the piece that broke, that's off. So that wouldn't make sense that part was glowing. I may need to rewatch that scene because it looked like when she put the crystal in, the entire frame of like the hole, it looked like it was glowing, even though only the crystal should be glowing. So there should be a little in the top. It should be completely dark. Like, it should only look like the machine basically. So I may need to rewatch that, but I was like kind of like, oh, what was the whole point of breaking the crystal if you're gonna have that section light up, or at least not show there's actually a crystal piece there, because I don't think they did. So either way, so like, yeah, so it was that and the other thing I mentioned. Oh right, so I say, what do you mean I'm going back home? So that weird cut thing, but that was really it. Like way better, better than the episode 1. I thought that was a great episode. It was a solid beat. This is a solid A. Fantastic. Only 2 complaints. And I can't wait for what's gonna happen next. And yeah, everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to check out my community posts and mini reviews. And I will see you guys tomorrow for my 250th celebration. I think I might do a live stream. Maybe. Yeah. I think I might do a live stream. Yeah, maybe. I need to like figure that out, but I definitely need to leave my computer on because that's how it works apparently. So yeah, I might do that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Or it'll just be a regular video like always, which yeah, I know, kind of disappointing, but yeah. But yeah. Anyway, and um the next mini goal for the subscribers will be 255 before the end of May, but before the beginning of June, basically, but before June 1st. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to 255. And yeah, all right. I'll see you guys tomorrow for hopefully the live stream or the celebration of 250 subscribers. We're currently 251, which we're super grateful for. But 250 subscribers is like the point where it's celebration time. So yeah, all right. See you then.